Hello, hello, hello. Hey, gorgeous. Welcome to another episode of Lost in Our 40s, a podcast where we talk about women, how to win more in life, and how to just live in our fullest form. Welcome. Music by Atemi Oyungu. Today, we are looking at manifesting the bus. I'm dressed like this because today is another painting session. So you join me as I do a bit of painting. And I thought, why not have a conversation as I do that? So, welcome. So, manifesting the bus, it sounds like a silly topic. I like the word silly. It's an odd topic because what I did is one day I gathered the guts to tell a couple of friends of mine that I manifest the bus. To get to work, I can take a bus, so I have a couple of options. But the bus is the fastest means of getting to the office, and I like getting the bus because that means that I have a shorter commute than I would otherwise have, and everything just goes well. Now, my planning abilities aren't always up to par. So because I plan in such um, a flexible way, there's a friend of mine who's very funny. She has difficulty planning things out. So what she says is that she lives in the now. I feel that that's not really what Eckhart Tolle had in mind when he was talking about the power of now, but to each their own. So, to give you an idea of what I'm doing here, I have my paints down here, and I use acrylic paints, and just trying to pick up a few colors. My painting is more intuitive, as is my cooking, as is my eating, as is a lot of things. So, yeah, if you see me doing crazy things I have a canvas today. So, doing crazy things on the canvas, don't worry about it. We are painting. So, you are joining me in this creative process. So, back to the bus. Because oftentimes I used to find myself leaving the house and rushing. In fact, there's a time I used to run for the bus, running for the bus to get to the last bus. Then one day I thought, no, my life gets to be easy. I'm not the kind of woman who is running after buses. No. I don't have a car. I don't drive, so that's the other reason. I mean, it's convenient to use public transport where I live, so that's one of the reasons that I do that. So anyway, back to the point, manifesting the bus. So what this means is when I have left late, I won't call it anything else. When I have left with less than enough time to, as would be optimal, to catch the bus. So meaning that I am about, I've measured it once. I think I am on a quick pace, something like 6 minutes from the bus stop, but sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less, depending on what's just going on. So when I'm ideally, I think I should leave like 10 minutes to time. Sometimes I have heels, sometimes I'm walking slowly, I don't know. So either way, I don't know the exact time, but either way, if I look at the app and realize that, or even just the clock, because the bus has a set schedule. So if I've left at a time that might not work in catching the bus, or even if I've left at a time that does work in catching the bus, what I realized that I did is I started manifesting the bus, meaning that I call out to the universe to avail the bus to me. And I think when I started doing this, I didn't really think that, I wasn't thinking that much about it. There was a point earlier in my life when I had been very interested in manifesting, and it had worked until it hadn't. So I had thought reading books like The Secret and things like that. So these things that work until they don't, I wasn't too sure what to make of it. In fact, the time it disappointed me I felt so dramatically let down that I decided all these things are hocus pocus, nothing to do with me. I shall not engage. Yeah. So on and off. So manifestation for me is not something new. Maybe it's something new for you. Maybe it's something you thought about doing. Maybe it's something you've heard of. Maybe it's something you think is crazy. Whatever the case, this is a story. that you're welcome to listen to. So, I inadvertently, let me tell you about the success story. Not inadvertently, I would manifest the bus. Even now, I manifest the bus. In fact, it's moved over to other means of transport. I What I do is, first of all, I have a morning routine that is very high vibe. It is very empowering. It leaves me feeling very, very, very good. When in my morning, what I do is I wake up. I wake up at 6. I write. I'm a writer. So my morning sessions is when I feel that I am at my highest vibe in terms of creativity. So I write in the morning. I wake up early specifically to write. I put in how much time? The bus leaves at around, the last bus I should know is at 8:52. I wake up at 6. Between that, I'm writing, showering, getting ready for work, all that kind of stuff, playing with my cats, feeding them, stuff like that. So that's the kind of work, that's the kind of time frame that we're playing with. And oh, I should also say within that time, part of what I do is I read the Miracle Morning. Oh, I've forgotten what the guy who wrote it is called. A brilliant guy, a brilliant book. Where he says what he did is that he went to he interviewed a lot of highly successful people, or he read up on them, something like that, and realized that there are these 5 things that they all do every single morning, and they are. Can I remember? Scribe. Scribing is one: to write, to read, to meditate, to visualize. What do you call it? Yeah, to visualize. There's a word for it that I've of course forgotten just now. And to affirm. So these are the things that these successful people did. And then he says, break it down, do it every single morning. Take it as 5 steps. It doesn't have to be any single length of time for any one of those things. So with that in mind, then I think I strive to do them all. Sometimes there's one I'll forget. Sometimes there's others, In fact, the one for me that loses traction most of the time is unfortunately meditation. That is not my strongest suit. So that one might fall off on the wayside. But for the rest, I especially and exercise. How did I forget exercise? Then clearly I've gotten them wrong. So exercise, I wake up, I mentioned in one of the earlier podcasts that I have this 10-minute walking routine every morning. That works for me. I'm very happy to walk for 10 minutes. Yes. Ideally, it should be a little more. In fact, yesterday was the first time that my body called for more, is how to put it. My body wanted more. So either way, with this high vibe morning start, then I am already in a good mood. By the time I'm setting off for the bus, my mental state is already really positive. And in that mental state, what I do when I'm approaching the bus stop is I visualize how I will feel when seated in the bus. So not only just praying and hoping and begging and thinking, no, visualize the sensation in my body, how good it will feel, how relieved I will feel, how lucky I will feel. In fact, one of the mottos that I have from that is that I am the luckiest girl in the world, because I'm always catching the bus. And it's Napoleon Hill in his book Think and Grow Rich. There's something he says there. I wish I can remember. It's about feeling the feeling. I think that's how he puts it, if I'm not wrong. Or maybe I'm just putting words in his mouth. But he does speak about this concept in that book. This not only wishful thinking, but being more engaged in the feeling that will come out of in the emotion. He calls it the emotion. In the emotion that comes out from achieving what it is that you have in mind for achieving. And being dead set. In his other book, Conversations, what's it called? Something with the Devil. I've forgotten, sorry, the name of the book. But in that one is the one that he puts it out much more clearly. He says that you feel it, you desire it, it is yours. You do not accept any other answer. If this is what you want to happen, there is no other alternative available for you. This is your reality. He says that you demand of the universe that this is what you want. You shall not back down. You shall not have anything less. But in that case, he's speaking about probably much more weighty matters than manifesting the bus. So in my case, and I had some notes, now I've forgotten, I'm just telling you stories. Um, uh, Trust that everything is going to be okay. So I mentioned that there's a time that I used to dabble, is that the word? Dabble in manifestation, and then at some point it became a no-no. I thought that no, this is not for me. And one of the things that I learned now is to trust that things are going to be okay, such that I realize, in fact, I first of all take the step of trying to do what I can to be on time. Why? What kind of life is this that I'm living that I always have to be late? That is not the kind of life that I want to live. So I changed that reality and decided I'm not the person. I'm not available to always just being just on time. No, I want to be able to play a better role, to be much more engaged and involved. And with that, because I am comfortable knowing that first of all I am doing what I can to meet the time, but things could happen. And then after that I decide that I ask myself what is it that I actually want. So perhaps I have a work meeting that I want, that I have, I have a work meeting at whatever time and I want to be able to reach it on time. So then that becomes the change. So it's not so much getting on that bus. What I request of the universe is to make everything okay such that I can achieve that particular goal. Yeah, and it works out in different ways. It could be that I take that work call on on the way on my phone, something like that. It could be that even the work call is postponed. Things work out very strangely and very differently. It could be whatever it is that it will be. I trust that the outcome will be what I want. The outcome will be positive. The outcome will be in my favor because I'm asking for the bigger picture. I'm asking for what I truly desire. It's a difference also of between asking for money and asking for whatever it is that you want to do with the money. So that kind of thing as well. And it's a beautiful feeling because whenever I do get into that bus, it has really changed it has improved my morning routine, because the other thing that happens is that nowadays I always notice the bus driver, because I am so happy. I am genuinely so happy to get into the bus. This was before my commute to work was before something that I didn't think about. Had absolutely no considerations. Why am I thinking about my commute? In my commute, I'm doing 13,000 other things. I'm not actually thinking about the fact that someone is employed as a bus driver, gets onto this bus, leaves their family in the morning, goes through some sort of trouble to get here. Those things are not things that ever crossed my mind. But because of this slowing down and putting some importance in catching my bus, it has just really changed my perspective about something that is otherwise so tiny. I absolutely enjoy my bus ride. Now I notice I still read, I still could listen to podcasts or something else, but I'm much more keen about the neighborhood, and I'm noticing the things that are happening as I am passing the places that I am passing. I always greet the bus driver, and I notice that they're always very happy. And maybe it's because I'm also beaming with a smile. I'm always so genuinely happy to catch the bus that I greet them, and you can tell that it causes like a change. It's either that they're not that used to genuine interaction in the bus. It's also work. So they have their commute, they have the things that they're thinking about. So this genuine person who seems so happy to have got the bus might not be something that they usually engage with. So that is how my morning ride has changed my life. Actually, it has changed my life, because then by the time I get to work, I am so set for a positive day. Between the happy morning experience, between proving to myself that I am the luckiest girl in the world because I caught the bus, between having a friendly conversation, even if it's just a hello, with the bus driver, I'm all set. Which means, and then my meetings go well, things are happy. My morning bus. Um, I read here that believe that you are powerful enough to cause a change in time. Because that's the thing I started asking myself because what happens oftentimes is that then the bus is late. If I am late and I have requested for the bus to be there and the bus comes late, there is the fact that that particular bus that I catch is often late. There is that, but then every once in a while it is on time. And it's this question: what I ask myself, what part do I have to play in all this? I'm not saying that I'm this great person who's moving the wheels of time or anything like that, but I'm just saying, why not? So it's a yes and a no. It opens up my mind to think about things that I don't otherwise think about. How does time work? How does this go backwards? How does this go forward? There's who is it who talks about Dr. Dispenza, I think, who talks about different realities playing out at the same time. He gives the example in his book Becoming Supernatural. He gives the example of a time when he happened to be at two places at once, meaning that it's like he traveled to his future self or something like that, and he could see himself inside the house washing dishes, and he could see himself outside as well, where he was actually standing. And it was interesting to him, and this made him realize that it is possible that two times occur at the same time, and maybe even two lives occur at the same time. I've heard that from someone else. So point being, whether or not you believe in all of this, point being that having these kinds of, even reading these kinds of books, makes you think about things you wouldn't otherwise think about. Our days are busy with deadlines and things to do and buses to catch and, all that kind of thing. So this is just sharing with you a bit of my morning routine that makes me happy, opens up the expanse of the universe to various possibilities, makes me feel like the luckiest girl in the world. I like that feeling. And yeah, so I share this with you. And before I go, I wanted to also share with you something about my cat. My cat is an expert at manifesting. So this is more real, more easy to relate to for people who might think that manifestation is woo-woo and way out there. So what my cat does, I have two cats. One of them decided that the kitchen is the place where he shall be petted. I am not even lying. This guy will run in front of me, as in I'll be standing somewhere in the home. He'll run in front of me on the way to the kitchen, knowing full well that he shall be followed by me and I shall pet him. And you know what? I follow him and I pet him because I am so... I can see the belief, this belief that he has. He doesn't stop where I am, he stops in the kitchen because he knows that is where he'll get his pets. And I follow him. So his cuddles and his kisses, and he knows that. And because he has such a great faith, I oblige. Who's to say that God, the universe, creation, higher power, source, doesn't do likewise with us? Food for thought. Thank you for joining me today. I only did part painting. I haven't gotten very far. The other time someone asked me what I was painting, they were feeling that they would really have liked to see. So I'll show you this one. It's just starting. To me, it looks right now like a fire. So let's see what goes with it. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining me. I highly appreciate your company. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye, gorgeous. Music by Atemi Oyungu. Content and production by me, Shiro. Get in touch at lostinourforties.com.